Are you ready to make a genuine, intentional change? Welcome to the Magic is Messy podcast. Yeah. Wayne's World.
Party time. Excellent.
We're not.
What did they go?
Witches and wizards, sisters and misters, freaks, geeks, and magical motherfucking peeps. Welcome back to the Magic is Messy podcast. My name is Kitty D, ooey, your hostess with the mostest, and sitting across from me is your co-hostess, Ace.
Good morrow, friend.
Welcome.
Happy 2026.
Yeah, I know.
As the Gregorian calendar makes us say.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Brilliant.
Yes.
How was your holiday? How was your Yuletide?
It was multi-layered,
Okay,
multifaceted.
It was.
It was. I have gratitude coming into 2026 that I have not yet gotten the plague. So, we were plagueless, which I'm grateful for. And otherwise, it was full of cheese and confusion. And what day is it? I don't know. So
I love that meme.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
Full of cheese, full of confused.
Exactly. Full of cheese and confused.
Yes, okay. What
do I do now? What day is it?
How was your holiday?
It was. It was. And that's all I'm going to say. I mean, family,
I'm
great.
steal that.
Time, great. The weather turned out well here in Minnesota. And I'm grateful to be now on the path of back to routine. Back to ritual. Back to life, back to reality.
I was just going to say, I'm grateful that, like, literally, I mean, obviously January 1 was like the beginning of the year, but
I think it's funny that you're eating cheese.
I am. I mean, I'm still cheese. I'm still confused. But I'm grateful that today feels like the first day of the new year because my family's all away to their respective places, and I get to do my very first activity of my new year starting on January 6th or whatever day, 5th. And we get to do this.
Yes, we do.
We're gonna discuss important things today.
And we didn't see each other as much as I was hoping we would see each other over the holiday season. And I'm super grateful to get into what we're going to get into today. And today's episode is called "What the Fuck is a Coven?"
Coven.
Now, right off the bat, because you are our beginner mindset, and what I love about having you as a part of this podcast and co-host on this podcast is when we exchange energy like this, is seeing what comes up for you. I mean, I've been doing magic now for 10 years. 2026 will be my decade of being a practitioner or claiming myself as a witch and putting that forward into the universe. So I would love to know, when I say the word coven, what immediately comes to your mind? Like, what have you been taught? Or what comes up for you when the word coven is said?
Thank you for asking. I think that the biggest thing that comes up for me about what I was taught before I entered into this space is that covens were, women sitting in the circle under the full moon, the kind of thing that the media would put out. The media would say, and a collection of women naked, dancing in the moonlight around a fire, or
dancing in the moonlight,
or like casting spells, and they all wear cloaks. We gotta get cloaks. I mean, just Magic is Messy on the back. Merch cloaks.
Merch cloaks.
Merch cloaks. So that kind of imagery, I think, and everybody connected, maybe holding hands, conducting a spell, that kind of thing. I also, I think, and a lot of people hear coven and it's like, I think there's fear and recoil.
That's what I was looking for.
Yep. There's fear and recoil of like, what are those women in the woods doing? Or like, what kind of nonsense are they up to?
Who are they hexing? Are they working with the devil?
Yes. And I'm sad because it feels like a dark thing and not like a love and supportive thing. And I'm learning as I've gotten into this journey with you and with other, just doing the own research that I've been doing, I've been finding that it's just so much more full of light. And that's, to me, it's sad that is what we were fed, is that covens were evil or scary or nefarious.
And in my studies, by the way, you and I discussed this before we got on the pod, before we got on the mic. Get on the mic. We both did some edumacating of ourselves, digging deep, whatever. There's not a lot. Like, obviously there's, what is a coven, blah, blah, blah. There's not a lot of background history, or at least not that I could find. And I feel like I went pretty dang deep. And I think the reason for that, and you also brought this up, is when we learn what a coven can become, who we as witches and wizards can become when we connect into a coven. That is what scares the world more than anything. Because that's what a coven creates, is a space of community power.
Oneness.
Collective camaraderie,
yes.
if you will. Like an energetic container to exchange more power. And I say this often, and if you've been listening to this podcast at all, by the way, if it's your first listen, welcome. Welcome to the Magic is Messy podcast. So great to have you. Thanks for finding us. Reach out, say hi. And if you're a returning customer, thank you so much for being a part of our magical collective that we're building and growing. Mm-hmm. And when I keep looking up what a coven is, and I speak about this on this podcast often, is when we get together in pathworking, in circle, doing our rituals, during our full moon, our SBATs, our Sabbats, whatever it is. When you have the same boomerang in mind with multiple people, that boomerang of energy goes out so much more powerfully than if you were to just do it as a solitary practitioner. Mm. So to me, the community of a coven is the medicine, is the support.
The church, so to speak.
The church, okay, sure, if you want to call it the church, right? You have congregations of many different spiritual paths and religions.
Yes.
To your point, a coven is the congregation in the pagan, Wiccan, witch world, if you will, right? Yep. And it is sacred. Just like a church, yes. It is sacred. It is intentional. You are going there with intentions to pray, to sing, to bless, to be with others that believe in and are aligned with the same thing you are.
Right.
And that truly, on the foundation, is what a coven is. Mm-hmm. Coven, the word coven is Latin, or it came from the word conventus or covine, which means gather, convention, conspiracy, assembly, or coming together.
Okay.
Come together right now over me. Boom, boom, I believe Michael Jackson's version was better.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say.
Unpopular opinion?
Although I will say the Gary Clark Jr. from the Justice League soundtrack. Have you ever heard that?
I have not.
Ooh.
Okay. Ooh. Put me onto it, girl.
Yeah,
Put me onto that.
I will. We'll do that. Maybe we could do that at the end as outro.
Perfect.
I have all these ideas for
come
outro.
Together.
Playlist, Coven playlist.
Bingo. So back to sacred, back to intentional, back to supportive, back to powerful. Being in a coven or a congregation or whatever you want to call it, it is a commitment. It is a commitment you're making to yourself and to the people that are showing up with you. A long time ago on other podcasts, if you've listened to it, you know that I've said this, the word discipline makes me very, very uncomfortable. So
for sure.
I use the words devoted.
Yes.
I use the words dedicated. So a coven is something you commit to, you devote yourself to, and you dedicate your energy to for a potential, certain amount of time. A time container, timed constructed container, if you will.
Yep.
A lot of times I have heard in my studies that the initiation of becoming or coming into a coven takes a year and a day.
Oh, interesting.
So that's when there are certain levels. There's first, second, third, high priestess, high priest, all of these things. Does a coven need to be that way? Absolutely not.
Slow down a second. What does a year and a day mean exactly? I mean, it's 366 days. I get it. But I just mean what is the symbolism of that?
Sure. And that's a great question. Mm-hmm. I have heard and seen and read that if a budding witch or a budding pagan practitioner, anyone who wants to practice magic, before being called into or welcomed into a coven of practicing witches and wizards, needs to or must do a year and a day worth of study to be ready to commune with those in coven.
Oh, interesting. And why do you think that is exactly? Was it like protection for the group? Was it to prove the dedication?
I think it has a little bit to do with that, but also, are you aligned with us? Do you fit well with us?
Yeah.
Is this something that you are dedicated to? Are you accountable? Are you responsible?
Yeah.
Are you willing to exchange? Are you just going to be a barfly or a wallflower with one headlight? Are you just going to be a wallflower, or are you actually going to participate and exchange energy? Are you going to suck our energy, or are you going to exchange energy?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And a coven, to me, is a group of people practicing. Okay. A group of practitioners or people that are practicing that gather to study, to perform rituals, to create and cast spells, to witness one another, to create the space of training and learning and growing and sharing their most vulnerable pieces of themselves. And that's why covens are in the bigger world seen as dangerous, potentially, is because opening that vulnerable place, we already did what the fuck is vulnerable and how it can be a superpower. Imagine a group of witches and wizards being vulnerable to the space, just insanely vulnerable and open and willing to be raw and messy.
Yes.
And imagine the power that can come from that. If everyone is plugging into the superpower of vulnerability times the number of 13, which is your usual coven number, it can be 3 to 13 or more. There are coven communities. Me personally, my 1 Year Witch Coven is 13 practitioners.
Okay.
And the number 13 being that of the goddess, being that of the feminine. You know, the unlucky 13 is also a myth, P.S.
Yes, I've done some research on
that.
that.
The number 13, I was born on the 13th.
Yeah,
love it. So the 13th to me has always been a very lucky, feminine embodiment goddess number. So that's why I choose 13, not just because that's what I've learned, but that's what feels good to my intuitive nature as well.
But I also love the symbolism behind the fact that time is actually originally was meant to be 13 months. It wasn't supposed to be 12
Absolutely,
months.
13 moons.
So I love how
13 cycles.
I love how we get to honor the truth as opposed to what the world wants us to believe.
Bingo. And that's the thing I wanted to bring up with this coven too, is bringing up what is a coven actually, and what to look for.
And what is it not.
And what is it not. Thank you so much.
I do want to talk about that.
Thank you so much for saying that. What is it not? Or what are some red flags when you're potentially going to find a coven of sorts, right? So in the 15th to 17th centuries, the word coven was actually found in witchcraft style textbooks, if you will. And during the witch trials, this is what I'm hearing, during the witch trials, they were so afraid of the women or these powerful entities coming together that's why they started to, if you will, burn them. Yes? So popularized by Margaret Murray in 1921 in her book, The Witch Cult in Western Europe, a coven is an organized group of in between 3 and 13 witches and wizards, with potentially 2 of them being the high priest or priestess. The high priest and or priestess are the leader, the facilitator, the mediator. Not to be confused with a guru.
Okay.
They are not the end all be all. They are not the tell you what's right, what's wrong.
Okay.
They are just leading the pack.
Facilitator.
They are moving the energy. They are creating the container. They are keeping the structure. They are keeping the flow. So the creator and or leader of said coven is equal with everyone in the coven.
Okay.
They just
have like a different job.
Correct. Yeah, and there are other jobs. There's a job called the maiden, where the maiden hands all of the tools to high priestess or priest. Right? There are roles in said coven, and no role is better than any other role. You are all equal, no matter where you are in your studies, how long you've been being a practitioner,
so
all that jazz.
Could you call yourself? Would a coven include people like for lack of a better term, like a secretary and like a parliamentarian and like a vice
A
president.
treasurer,
like, yeah.
of course.
Would that be something that in a group of 13, everybody could have a specific role, or there could be groups of roles?
1,000%.
Okay.
That's the thing about covens is you can create whatever role feels good.
Right.
And that's what I love when you bring these energies together. You can create and make those decisions together. What feels right for you in this moment in space and time.
I love that.
And that's also what I love about. So I've been doing the One Year Witch Coven for 4 years now. This will be the 4th year. 2026 will be the 4th year that the One Year Witch Coven, and it grows and changes and evolves and, transforms and just becomes its own animal. It has the same structure every single year because we work with the Sabbats, which are the wheel of the year. Mm-hmm. We work with Esbats, which are the new and the full moons. We also do what's called path working, which we've talked about on this podcast before, and we're going to do a what the fuck is path working episode as well. But I feel when you really dive into a coven and you say yes to yourself and say yes to others that are aligned with you, it creates a safe, supportive, sacred family.
Ooh.
And this family, like I said, a time constraint, a year and a day, or the One Year Witch Coven literally is a year and a day. And I still speak to people that have been in my coven for my very first rendition of what One Year Witch started as. I work out with, almost every single day, I work out with one of my previous participants and practitioners because we grew so close.
Right.
And that's what I love about covens, is because even though it could be a time constraint, with the strong enough intentions, I feel like covens can last a lifetime. Any time.
I love that
type of bonds can become unbreakable after sharing such sacred, open, honest pieces of ourselves with others, as well as them doing the same with us.
Can I just say that, like, I've been to a few of the path workings that you've hosted, and they've been really life changing for me. And I remember I even did it I was busy. I was cleaning. I was finishing up at work, and I was listening to it. I was driving home. Like, I was very distracted. And even when I took a moment to dial in, I don't think I could dial into anything as fast as I did to those path workings because of the energy of the women around. Like, I was on, it was a Zoom call, right? Yeah. But even through the computer screen or the television, the phone, the cell phone screen, I was able to feel that collective and easily slip in, even though I was doing a million other things. Not that that's how I want my regular practice to always be. I don't want to be distracted. I want that path working to feel like a very sacred moment that I'm taking for myself. Mm-hmm. And in the moment when I couldn't show up as fully as I wanted to, I still benefited, and it still changed my perspective on things. So, even if it's just that piece of it, right? It's just is dialing in and learning to be dialed into that situation as being the intention part of things to begin with, moving forward into the coven.
Because you set the intention of, I'm going to be here in whatever capacity I can. Right? And the other people on that call were also in the same mindset and aligned with, I'm going to be on this call into whatever capacity I can.
Yes.
I'm releasing expectations, and I'm just going to allow what downloads and what comes through to come through.
Yeah.
Now, we were all around the world with that call,
were.
which I really, truly love that. With the One Year Witch, we are from all around the world.
Yeah.
I've had people in Germany, I've had people in Russia, I've had people everywhere be a part of the One Year Witch Coven.
Okay.
And just because we're over a phone, or just because we're communing in different parts of the world, doesn't mean that our energies aren't exchanging and connecting and becoming more powerful because of it.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how easily I was able to tap into the things that were being asked of me on this path working. I couldn't believe how quickly. And I really, because again, when it's like, I don't know if it's just me I'm 48, going to be 49 this year. So I'm coming into this situation where I'm very, I know I'm lucky. I made it to almost 49.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, but to be able to step in, like there's lots of brain fog right now in my life, hormones and life stuff and kids and husband and hello human. And so normally for me to dial into a concept or to dial into something, I have to sit down and literally like lock myself. Everyone go away. I have to hide in the bathroom. I have to tell everybody where I'm going. But when I was able to dial into a path working with the women in the coven in that moment, I was able to dial in and really and like click in quick. It wasn't like, oh, okay, wait, I gotta focus. Okay. It was like, as soon as I came around, it was like, I was brought into the,
sucked you in, huh?
Yeah. But in a good way, like, welcome, you're completing the puzzle here. And, you know, like it was like fitting into place. And I just thought, I was surprised because normally I need like the temperature to be a certain way and there can't be a northward breeze. And like, what is that blinking in the distance? And like, you know what I mean? Otherwise, before I can even think about what we're talking about. And this, I found it to be very powerful and actually much more natural. And I'm not going to say easy, but like there was ease in it, if that makes sense.
Oh, of course. Yes. It gave you a space of ease because that's the thing I love about covens is that they are a soft space. They are a sacred, soft space. And most importantly, a coven is a community of individuals that are sharing a common interest.
Okay.
And that's why I feel like it was so easy and you could connect so quickly is because you knew that you were before you even showed up to this call, you knew that you were safe in this space.
Yes.
You were willing to be vulnerable and take walls down because you knew everyone else there was doing the same thing. And that's why I love covens so GD much. Goddess darn much. Goddess darn.
How do covens compare to something like a knitting circle or a prayer circle or just or book club? How does it compare, would you say? What's the difference? Or do you think that book clubs are iterations of covens?
Very much so. You can say a coven of foodies. You can say a coven of bibliophiles. A coven is a community of people with shared interest.
Okay.
So you can have a coven of anything, truly. You know, the word coven means assembly. It means coming together.
Okay.
So in any way, shape, or form with a common interest or, you know, willing to exchange energy and being aligned in the same belief system is going to bring you a space to create a coven. Do you have to be witches and wizards to be a coven? Absolutely not. But that word coven is associated with witches and wizards because it's meant to strike fear into your heart and say, ooh, they're doing bad, bad, bad things.
Well, no wonder we can't find anything on the internet.
No shit, Sherlock.
It's about oneness and togetherness and lack of division.
Lack of division. Togetherness, oneness, and lack of division. Because yes, when you are exchanging energy and you are in circle, those bonds in circle while we are practicing are unbreakable.
Oof. Don't we
That
just
is the
need
spell.
That now?
That is the spell that is put over every single pathworking circle, community, gathering, is this is unbreakable until we say it is broken or we can move away from and protection and all that jazz. I mean, you know, we call in the quarters, we call in the elements, we call in deities, we call in ancestors, we call in guides, we call in protection to practice our practice in a safe, sacred, supportive space.
And isn't that what we need right now as a globe? As a world? Don't we need to find places where we're safe to process and be in alignment and trust? Because there's just none of that right now.
Or if there is, I feel like it's just not. It's
perceived.
not easily accessible.
Agreed. I was going to say maybe it's a perceived
because the noise gets in the motherfucking way.
Yeah, it does.
That's one thing. Like, yes, the doom scroll. When you're with your family and you're sitting there and you're talking, you go to your phone and you doom scroll on Instagram and it's like, I made $400,000 in 5 days by being an Amazon affiliate, and it's like, why am I not doing that? Like, so much competition and so much comparison.
Yeah,
and that's what covens are not. Covens are not a space of comparison.
Because
they are a space of compassion.
Oof. Say it again.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Covens are not a space of comparison. They are a space of compassion. A coven is a space where you do the hard stuff so that you create a soft place for you to land.
I love that.
And we're all doing that together. That's what I love about covens. The camaraderie, the circle aspect, because a circle is never ending. A circle creates a vibration and the rotation and the constant movement of being one with one another. You could call it a clique, you could call it a tribe, a gang, a pack, a network, a circle, a group. Coven pretty much means the exact same thing. And what I would love to know is what makes a good coven? Welcome back. We got puppies, we got chocolates. I
had to go let the dog in, so I was trying.
The dogs in.
Okay, so, but I heard everything you said. The question was, what makes a good coven?
Correct.
What makes a good coven?
Or what do you seek in a coven as a beginner practitioner, or as someone who is looking to expand, transform, to learn, to grow, to exchange? What do you feel you would seek and look for in a coven?
And I know we just talked about this, but I'm going to say safety, no judgment, commitment, knowing that the sisters that you're connected to are with you. And
sisters and misters.
Sisters and misters, yes. I'm sorry, yes. But to be able to know that all of the, like, you're going to be held, you're going to be supported, you're going to be, you're going to be free to be a little ugly and have people hold you.
A little ugly, a lot of ugly.
A lot of ugly.
Ooh, ugly in the best way, like the messy ugly.
Yes.
Right? Willing to...
The authenticity of the messy authenticity.
Yes, of falling apart into a million pieces. I'm falling to pieces, yeah. Falling to pieces and having someone hold them and say, okay, how do you want to put these back together now? Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
How can I help you put these back together?
And then somebody, here, you dropped a piece. How's that going to fit?
Right.
Do you need this piece? Should we just get rid of it?
Yeah.
Let's burn it.
Burn it.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a witch. Burn it.
Burn them. What else floats in water?
Funny, not funny.
Yeah.
I feel, take what you need, the rest you can leave, as always, is a group with an aligned purpose. I think number one, we have to be aligned.
Oh my goodness.
We have to have the same, not necessarily full belief structure, but we have to stand for the same things.
Yes.
The compassion, the empathy,
humanity,
the humanity,
vulnerability,
exactly.
Authenticity.
We have to stand for the same things. We don't have to. I'm not going to have to. No. We get to. We get to have ethical leadership.
Yep.
Where the good of the whole is more important than the winning of one.
One more time.
The good of the whole is more important than the winning of one. That was not in my notes. It just downloaded.
I love downloads.
Right? The having internal conflict resolution. Like, we're both in bands.
Yes.
Let's think about that.
Okay.
When there's a conflict in the band, one of us has to take the reins and we have to resolve the conflict, or else it just gets awkward and icky and messy and gross.
And then, in
the bad way.
And then you've got a stinky room in your house, so to speak.
And it's full of shit.
Yeah.
Self-hating inner talk.
So, like,
where both of you are just flinging shit all over the place like a bunch of primates.
Yeah. And that's where you have to step forward and be like, all right, we're going to clean out this shitty room together. Get a shovel.
Communication.
Let's work this out.
Yep. Common space and common ground to stand on. So therefore we can move forward together. Let's grab hands and move past this.
Yes. What kind of intentions, what kind of purpose, like shared purpose, would a coven? I mean, I know that it could be like, we believe in yams. Like, it could
sweet
be
potatoes.
It could be. We could be, crusaders of squirrel rights. We could be like, so literally anything, right? Intentionally, our coven could be moving towards a purpose of any kind, really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And as long as you're all aligned on what that purpose is, and that creates the foundation of what you're all standing on together. Solid, safe, sacred ground.
How do you know who's in alignment and who isn't?
That's a great question. When One Year Witch Covens come up, there's always a questionnaire. Because not everyone is, I don't want to say accepted, because I feel like it's, gatekeeping and all that stuff.
No.
But
aligned.
You have to have like an interview process. When you do a job interview, right? If you're not aligned with the company's goals, mission, they're not going to hire you.
Or the culture, even.
Yeah,
like
100%.
we all show up for work on time here. So are you going to do that, or?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, are you going to be a wallflower? Are you just joining this coven to watch? Because it's better than Instagram witch talk, something or other?
Yeah.
Or are you actually going to commit to practicing your practice in a way that maybe you never have before, or even been given the structure to do so?
Yeah.
That's what I love about Coven, One Year Witch Coven, my own coven, is there is structure and there is flow.
I love that.
There's depth more than there's width.
There's depth more than there's width. I
like
that.
Right? I would rather be so close with 12 people than be surface level with 1,000.
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoy covens, and that's why there is, a meeting I don't want to call it initiation,
Yeah.
because that has a negative connotation due to hazing and college stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But the initiation is kind of like, hey, are you on the same path, or are you wanting to follow the path that we're following? Are you aligned with this? Do you want to follow in these footsteps? I don't know any more than you, or I'm not better than you. I just have a lantern further on the path.
I love that.
You can show me things with your lantern. I'll show you my things with my lantern.
Yep.
And we can all grow and transform
together. Got it.
It's education, direction, and the integration of said education.
Purpose. Yeah. Okay.
There is accountability to yourself and to others, which creates consistency. And consistency is where your power lies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Right? Consistency is key. I've heard that my whole life.
Whether it be potty training your puppy, or parenting, or marriage stuff, or band stuff, or work stuff. Like, yeah, consistency is key.
And that's what a coven creates for me. Take what you need, the rest you can leave. Is a consistent space to practice my practice with other people. And I know when I show up for other people, it's much easier than if I'm just showing up for myself.
And hopefully by the end of the covens, or the time frame that we've created, we can start by practicing showing up for others and ourselves. Then we can practice showing up for ourselves in other ways, not just for the coven, but in other ways, right?
Because what you do in coven, kind of like when we do path workings. When we do path workings, and we'll get into this in a whole nother episode, but I'm just going to tickle on it just a little bit. When we do path workings, we are in a safe, supportive space, connecting into our subconscious, and doing work in our subconscious, which immediately integrates into what we're projecting on our reality. Because your subconscious is the projector onto your reality. Right? We've already talked about that in What the Fuck is Shadow?
Okay.
And if you haven't listened to that one, go back to it. That's one of the top listened ones that you and I have ever had.
Awesome.
By the way, because shadow we all have it.
Yep.
And we work on shadow during Scorpio season, during whatever.
Yeah.
We work on all of that. And that's what I love about the coven as well, is because it is the 1 year and we go through all the zodiac signs, all the cycles, we do path workings for every single new moon. We meet together. What happens is, in these path workings, you are utilizing your subconscious, utilizing these guided meditations to then hopefully project something different onto your reality. When you are in coven and you are doing work in a vulnerable space, it bleeds so beautifully into the other facets of your life, your relationships with your kids, your marriage, your job, the way you show up for other people, the way that you stand in your power, the way you are sovereign, all of that. When you are practicing in a group of aligned individuals, it can absolutely change every facet of your life if you allow it to.
And you know what's really interesting? All of these words you're using are so big and beautiful and powerful and important, right? And as a new practitioner or someone who might just be joining us for the first time today, they might be like, wow, that seems really big. It is. And it's simple. What I have learned from the path workings, I remember you invited me to do a path working once a while ago, over last year sometime.
Before we even started co-hosting.
Right. And you said, I'd like you to be a part of this path working. And I said, okay. And I remember feeling like, I've got 3 kids who are teenagers, who are on the spectrum of some kind, marriage stuff, house, business, band, all the things, right? My own personal stuff. I remember feeling like, I don't know if I have the wherewithal to even do something that sounds this important. But let me just say, dear listener, that I showed up exhausted. I showed up maybe a little cynical, maybe a little fearful, maybe a little like, what the fuck is that? Little snarky, maybe, because I think there was a part of me that was like fighting, like that internal struggle of like, this isn't gonna work. That what does path working mean? Like, I don't want to go anywhere. I'm busy. Yeah. Like, I'm tired. You guys, it is so simple. It's literally on a call, right? On a Zoom call or on a screen of some kind. You're sitting there with other women, other witches and wizards in community, and literally you close your eyes and Kitty tells the story, and we follow the story. We close our eyes and we take ourselves a moment to just imagine the story. Are you a good imaginer? No, I'm not either. It's fine. You don't have to be, because it works. That's where the magic is this in the simplicity of it. And so when people hear these big words and this commitment and this dedication and all of these things, it really is very simply, it's so simple. It's something simple you can do to care for yourself, and the magic will follow. So I was told one time when I took a risk, leap and the net will appear. And I'm telling you, it's not hard to jump. It's hard to get caught. You will be caught. So I want to step forward and just say, if all of this stuff sounds like, this is which is exactly how I felt at first, even showing up with all of that in my heart, all the reservation, all the block, all that mental block, it still got through.
Yeah.
The work gets through. So listener, if you consider yourself like, I want to try pathworking, I want to try Coven, I want to try integrating or plugging in this way, you don't have to show up perfect. Oh my gosh. You could be sick. You can be busy. You can be doing something else while you're listening. Like literally, you'll find the magic will get through. I just wanted to say that just for my own experience of working with pathworking.
Well, and I want to say, I want to bring it back to, because what came up in my visual being a tarot artist is when you said the jump. The jump is the difficult part. The jump is easy.
Easy part.
The net is difficult.
Yes.
That reminds me of the Fool's Journey.
Okay.
And you journey through all of the archetypes, right? If you look up Journey, you see the Fool meets the Magician and learns about elemental having everything I need at my fingertips. Then they meet the High Priestess, and then they start to get into their intuition, and then they meet the Hierophant. They meet all of these archetypes, and you're kind of exactly doing the same thing. If you're willing to jump and say yes to universe, the universe is then going to ping pong back and say yes to you. Mm-hmm. So I think the most difficult part of being in a coven is saying yes. That initial yes to yourself, and then being willing to work, because it works if you work it.
Dude, it's like Lord of the Rings.
Tell me more.
The Fool talks to the Magician. Is anybody a Lord of the Rings fan? I'm not, but I know the story. You've got this little hobbit who's been tasked with this big thing because it's a simple
Bilbo.
person. Frodo.
Oh, Frodo. Who's Bilbo?
He was like the grandfather to Frodo.
Oh, so I used to watch the animated one back in the
did
day.
too, because that was the 80s.
Bilbo, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Frodo's been given this task to go throw the ring in the middle of the volcano, and he said
Mordor,
yes.
right? Mordor?
Yeah, something like that. And he's got the devil after him, various devils after him, and the universe has given him this ragtag group of pals, the Empress, like you said, the Hierophant, the this, the that, the knights, all that, so that he can accomplish his task, because Frodo can't do it alone. Mm-hmm. He can't accomplish his task alone because he doesn't have all of the gifts of everyone else in the room. It's all the Wizard of Oz. All of it's the Wizard of Oz.
And isn't that amazing how many stories
every
all
story
come back
all
to
the
that,
Wizard of Oz.
right? Because Dorothy couldn't have done it without the lion, without the Tin Man.
Yeah.
And kind of the same idea. Like, I have no problem with practicing solitarily as a witch.
Of course.
I enjoy doing my own spells. I enjoy casting on my own. I enjoy doing my own altars. And I also really, really fucking enjoy doing it within a community of aligned people, because
they can reflect.
Then you can exchange. And that's the thing too, is we are all mentors and mirrors at the exact same time.
I love that.
We learn from each other. We reflect back from one another. We share our innermost vulnerable wounds. And then it's like, oh my gosh, someone else went through that too.
Yes.
Or something just pings and you're like, oh my gosh, can we talk about that more, so I can move through this instead of just stay stuck in my own right?
Yes.
You open the and let someone shift the gears a little bit.
Speak into it.
Right? Yep. And I mean, you and I talked just the other night. We were kind of doing the same reflection thing during the full moon of Cancer, which, by the way, listeners, witches, wizards, I've gone back in my own cycles. And if you look back to the last episode I did before I took my hiatus, it was the full moon of Gemini, because right after the full moon of Gemini, like, there's this piece of me that just needs a break. And I honored that this year. I honored that. So I don't know if I'll ever come out with another full moon in Cancer, because my cycles show, because I am a moon Cancer, that during the full moon of Cancer, like, you deserve to just be rather than do. So if you were looking for the full moon in Cancer episode and were like, what the fuck, Kitty, where you at? Are you gone again? No! There's always episodes that you can look back on because every full moon in Cancer is going to have roughly the same idea and energy.
Yes.
So that's side bay tangent.
I love that, but I love how you're
I'm
recognizing,
learning myself.
Yeah, you're learning the pattern of that. And make no mistake, the full moon in Cancer is kind of brutal. I feel like all the full moons are
Magoots. At least for me and probably for you too, being moons.
Well, we're both Cancer moons.
Right.
And my poor husband, he's Leo Cancer. The poor thing.
Oh, that poor.
I mean, he just like extinguishes his own fire from time to time. You know what I mean? But even because we were just talking about this the other night. Did you say that you were or you're not going to be sending out the Cancer full moon this year?
I did not.
Okay. One of the things I learned from you the other night, which I was so grateful for, is you had said that Cancer rules the stomach. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, we're just going to go on this really quick side bay because it's relevant. And I have to tell you, I have been struggling with my guts for the past 3 days, and I just can't figure out like what is going on. Now, I did just have like a digestive surgery, like something. I've had my gallbladder removed, which is part of the digestive, and so I'm still recovering from that. That happened a little over 6 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And so
right after Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving,
one of the most gastrointestinal holidays on the planet, I went ahead and rerouted that shit the day later. But so of course I'm blaming all of my distress on like all the rich foods from the holidays and all of that. But it was just like weird and really sudden for like 2 days, 3 days. I was just like, what is wrong with me? You know? And my husband too has been messed up. Now I think, there's a connection where it's like, if I feel pregnant, he's probably pregnant too. Like, I mean, there's kind of that vibe happening in our house. But when I came back and I said, I just got off the phone with Kitty and she was telling me how Cancer rules the stomach and that solar plexus and all of that. And he's like, is that why my stomach's been fucked up for a couple of days? I'm like, I think so. So I was so grateful that you shared that with me. So here I am sharing that little piece of information for anybody else who has gastrointestinal upset.
It might be the moon.
Cut back on cheese.
No more cheese.
Cancer, moon, and cheese do not mix.
So when we're talking about like that reflection, let's go back to that reflection where you and I do that naturally.
Yeah.
And a coven is that on steroids.
Yeah.
A coven is
12.
Exactly. A coven is you and I plus 10 more people or 11 more people.
Yep.
Being vulnerable, being open, being willing, being committed, being dedicated to something different than what they knew.
Yep.
Because you cannot tell me that if you show up, even girlfriend, boo, even if you half-ass, you don't even full ass it, even if you only half-ass show up for 1 year of the 1 Year Witch Coven, something is going to change.
That's right.
Something is going to give. Some transformation is going to happen. Some foundation is going to be rocked. Some brand new something is going to change.
Okay.
Because you are making a genuine intentional change by just saying yes to something different than what you've been doing. What did you say when I first got here? What is the definition of
welcome
insanity?
To my house. No, I'm sorry. The definition.
That's not what I meant.
You talking about repetition?
Yes.
The definition of insanity is doing something the same and getting the same results. And in essence, if you do what somebody else has, if you do what someone else does, you're gonna get what they have.
Boom.
So in essence, like if you keep doing the same thing, you're like, why can't I get out of this rut? This is a perfect time of year. We're all just like, why can't I lose that last 20 pounds? Why can't I quit? Blah blah blah. Why can't I? Because we're inspired to like, okay, we're fresh start. Here we go. We're going to start moving forward. But then we find, but this right now, right? Somebody told me that there's something kind of critical about the first week of December, because January 1, when you're hungover, right? Or whatever, and you're off work and you've got some reflection, you're like, that's it. This is the year that I'm going to X, Y, and Z, And then like January 5th comes and you like haven't really done anything yet. Or like you've been looking at some gym memberships online, but like, so there's something very critical about, there's nothing fancy and glorious about January 3rd, 4th, and 5th, because that's the time where you have to start putting money where your mouth is. Money where your mouth is. That's what I meant to say. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And also when you're working with the Wheel of the Year, like January 1st, that is not the time to be fucking making fire shit happen, not to be initiating new things. It, for us, is the dead of winter.
Yep.
And it's time to pull back, and it's time to check out your reserves. What do I have? What do I need? To take a review.
Yeah.
And that's why I love working with the Wheel of the Years, because in the 1 Year Witch Coven, we're simmering in what the seasons are bringing us, not what society tells us to do.
The world, right. I was going to say I love how, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you before the podcast or just now, but I said what I love is I love how it's widely known that the Gregorian calendar as we know it has actually been modified based off of, if I'm not mistaken, Julius Caesar, wasn't it?
Correct. I believe that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So he modified it to accommodate, was it like laws or money? Or I can't remember why he accommodated it.
I bet it was money.
I think it had to do with his own personal shit. But basically he knocked a whole month out of the calendar and created it because it was supposed to be 13 months of 28 days. Mm-hmm. And now we have this kind of scrapped, sort of patched together.
29 days, the same 31. As a female menstrual cycle, the same as a moon cycle.
So I love that the coven would consist of 13 women, or 13, I'm sorry, witches and wizards, I apologize. 13 people that takes back the narrative about time in general, mm-hmm. and honors the original, what nature intended, which was those 13. Mm-hmm. And like you said, the goddess number and all of that stuff. So I really love how stepping away from what the world says time is, mm-hmm. we get to claim that.
You get to say what your time is,
right.
And follow the seasons and the natural cycles of nature.
Yes.
And also I want to bring up too, I know I say witches and wizards because I don't say no to people that are aligned.
Right.
So if there's a witch out there that's like, I don't know if I want to commune with a male.
Yeah, somebody born male.
I actually have had covens with just male energy.
Okay.
Because I feel like they need their own safe space too.
Yes.
So I just want to throw that out there that I say witches and wizards because energies that are aligned in the same belief system to create a community.
Yes.
I have not had a lot of wizards. But when I do, I actually have created separate covens for just my wizards.
Okay, interesting.
Yep. Because they also deserve a safe space too.
Yep.
And I feel like, I always feel like men and women are pitted against one another and don't listen to the patriarchy and
part of the division.
But I feel like if you're on a magical practice and you are you define yourself as a male energy, yes. You also deserve the same compassionate, safe, sacred space that the female embodiment does. You are on a journey of female embodiment. And yes. I want to create space for that as well. So I just wanted to throw that down.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Perfect. Now, as I've always also already said, what are the things that you seek in a coven, right? We seek depth over width.
Yep.
We seek a sacred, supportive, social space where we can chitty chat, kitty cat back to one another. A space of structure and flow.
Yep.
Not every 1 year witch coven is exactly the same, and that's what I love about it. Yes, we have a library of tons and tons and tons, 5 years worth of assets. Resources, assets, videos about every full and new moon with all the all the plugins, all the correspondence. We have the game boards. There's game boards for sun seasons. There's game boards for waxing and waning. There's game boards for full moon. There's so many different magic boards.
Yep.
There are tarot spreads, side challenges, live workshops, downloadables. There is so much that it can be overwhelming, and take what you need, the rest you can leave.
Yep.
Foundationally, that is the coven.
Take what resonates.
Yep, absolutely. And being in a coven is a commitment that will create a new version of your practice. There's no way it can't.
Yeah.
And potentially it could create a new version of you. And that's the goal, right? Yep.
100%.
Eventually when you're like, man, why can't I just fucking do this? Well, what does your support staff look like?
Yeah.
Is it just you continuously beating your own ass up for not doing and shaming and guilting?
That's when you got to look in the mirror, and you have to ask people that you trust to help you look in the mirror and say, but babe, just like you did for me the other night, babe, do you know what you're doing? Can you see what you're doing?
Can you see this? Can I tell you what I'm seeing from the outside looking in?
Yeah.
Right? And you gave me permission.
I did. You said, are you available for that? And I was like, fuck yes, I'm available for that. And you said it to me, and I remember it slowed my roll. It slowed my roll a bit, but it was what I needed.
Yeah, because sometimes we need that little lovey-dovey punch right in the nose.
Yeah.
Right in, pow, right in the kissa. And that's exactly what it did. It kind of just made you go, oh, fuck.
Yep.
Right? Because
got my attention.
Right. Because when we are in the you just get so into, you're in the eye of the storm.
Yep.
You don't even see the storm. But if I'm standing outside the storm, I was like, hey, have we seen it from this angle or this facet or this perspective? And that's when you do that with 12 other people.
Yes.
13, when you do that with 12 other people,
Yes.
you're bound to see a perspective that makes you go,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that feeling of vomit, you know what I'm talking about? That like that.
Yes, I don't want to feel about it.
Oh God, that hit me right in the soaplex.
It did.
That was my sacral blood.
Yeah, it was.
And that's exactly what you needed at that time. And you went into that situation that, we'll say, I don't want to say argument or whatever. You went into that
Challenging conversation
in a different mindset, a different perspective, that maybe
100%.
you would not have shown up as that version if we had not done
100%.
that reflective moment.
I was just going to say, because of that conversation, I was able to go in and go, okay, just one baby steps, one step at a time.
And did it turn out all right?
It turned out great.
Good.
I mean, is every time we do that, is it going to end up the way we want it to? No. But the best part was I walked in with no expectations and I let what happened happen. And that's what was meant to happen. Mm-hmm. And whereas before I would have been like, I need to make this person understand. Yeah.
Now
I need to make this person understand my perspective. And if they don't understand, then I'm going to do
and
this.
I'm going to verbally vomit all over them. To try to get my point across.
Yep. Hello, human.
And then I'm going to be really, really emotional. And then I'm going to scare them away. And oh my goodness.
And like, I'm going to walk away feeling I should never have said anything.
Right. And then you're going to go back into your beat yourself up, shame, guilt. I should have said it this way. I should have done it that way.
Yep.
And instead, what we did was we took a good 15 minutes. That's all it took, roughly.
60.
Maybe. Well, but you and I were chitty-chatting.
Yeah, we were chitty-chatting. But the work itself, yes.
The work itself was maybe 15 to 20.
Agreed.
And the reflection piece was maybe 15 to 20 minutes, which created a brand new perspective for you to see it from and a new facet for you to show up.
And I was able to show up with much less stress and much less resistance.
Because you reflected and talked to, and it wasn't because I told you what to do.
No.
It's because I created space for you to see what you could be.
Yes.
Instead of what you were stuck in.
Yes.
And that's what a coven can do.
I love that.
That's what friendships can do. That's what camaraderie is.
Yes.
And when you take that camaraderie and reflection and that piece of trust,
yes,
and you match it with other energies that are aligned, and you're creating spells and you're sending out boomerangs, and you're trying to create change in the world, in your world and the world at large.
Yes.
That's what being in a coven can do.
Oof.
And that's why they're afraid of covens.
And that's what we need. Mm-hmm. That's what we need.
Yes.
We need to start
or sister and misterhood.
Bringing the energy back to a collective and a support and groups that are aligned together, instead of how are we different from everyone? It's how are we the same as everyone? Like, how are we, because it's all about oneness.
Where do we share common interests, common goals, common alignment, common beliefs?
And it might be as simple as, I just want to be a better person.
Yeah.
I want to bust through my shadows. All 13 of us want that. Here we go. Different walks of life, different countries, different accents. It doesn't matter. We're going to move forward. We're going to move forward. And we're going to, as a collective, we've agreed that this is what we want to do. That's powerful.
It's very powerful. So in the 1 year, I'm always going to go back to the 1 Year Witch Coven because it's where I have the most experience.
Okay, well, let's just very quickly. So the 1 Year Witch Coven is for any new listener, right? Mm-hmm. Just a real quick one. 1 Year Witch Coven is something that you have created over the past year, where there's people getting together and you do the path workings, and it's a full year, 365 days of 366 days of. It's not like every day. Right?
It doesn't have to be.
Monthly.
Can it be? Absolutely,
yes, it can be. Yes.
You choose how deeply into your practice with all of the assets and the downloadables, the videos, all of the assets that we have that you can build your own personal practice from, but then have this container where other people are also building their practice. It may not look the same as everyone else's, but you're all utilizing the same tools, so you have this common ground.
And it's largely digital.
Although I do have people in Minnesota, that
which is where we're
every year we go to the Renaissance Festival together. Like, we create an in-person coven as well.
Okay.
And we also have the worldwide coven.
Okay. Yeah, because as we're talking a little bit more about this, for people listening who might go, well, what does this exactly mean, and what kind of time commitment? And I think we'll have to go into all of that, because this is us starting a conversation as we get into closer, because the 1 Year Witch Coven is going to be launched for 2026 into 2027, launched starting in the spring as
Correct.
it goes with the wheel of the year. So this is just a conversation we're starting, and we hope that we are eager to hear feedback about this and how this feels to people who are listening.
Correct. Yes.
So sorry, I just wanted to...
and I want to go back to, right, like, what do you seek in a coven? You told me what you seek.
Yep.
And I'm telling you what is created, or what coven, what is the community that we've created? What does it look and feel like?
Okay.
It's growth minded and open to input, right? Like I said, we're all equal.
Yep.
There is no guru.
Yep.
No way. No guru action.
No.
Like I said earlier, it's you have a lantern, I have a lantern. We're on different parts of the path, but we're illuminating
for each other.
Yep. Exactly. It's regular meetups to stay connected, very intentional. So somebody a space for you to be spiritually sovereign.
So if you're a person who's like, I don't even know about this, like this is so new to me, all of it, I don't have anything to share. Girl, you do.
Boo.
Boo. You do. You do. So that's also understanding that the role doesn't mean like you're the new girl all the time or the new guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's that you do have something to share. You just don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I have people that have signed up for 1 Year Witch Covens that then do it the next year and the next year.
Yep.
Because they're in this, okay, well, I learned this and now I want to level up, Sierra. Level up. And it's always by permission. It's always by consent. We are very consent-centered.
Okay.
Right? So it's absolute about equality. It's about accountability. It's about structure, education, direction, intention, initiation, and then integration. And we work on something different every quarter. We work on something different every month. You choose. It's a choose your own adventure.
I love that. Custom.
You customize in this container what you want to make it
be for you.
Exactly.
I love that.
What is magic? What are you going to make a genuine intentional change in?
Yes.
And then we give you the space to be super messy with it.
Yeah.
And then be like, ooh,
yeah.
check you out. Getting shit done,
right.
son. Right.
And again, I think it down to the brass tacks of it, it just really truly feels like a sisterhood, or a sister and misterhood. Mm-hmm. It feels like a collective that is growing, is alive and breathing.
Okay, you literally just said the words.
I did not.
You did.
What did I say? I'm not looking at our notes.
We are almost at an hour.
Okay.
So we're your time is super precious. And if any of this is like, ooh, I want to learn more of this. Mm-hmm. oneyearwitch.com.
Okay.
oneyearwitch.com.
Okay.
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Go check it out. I have all of the dates that we have our meetings.
Okay.
And then you as a solitary practitioner, or, you and I do monthly mirror mentor meetings.
Yes.
You have all the full moons. You have all the new moon path workings. All of it is recorded. Worksheets, grimoire pages, all of the things.
Okay.
And what I want to end with is that a coven is a circle of power. It is a sanctuary of shared magical practice and a bridge between the seen and the unseen. A coven is a living, thriving, dynamic temple of support with the shared goal of empowered transformation.
Wow.
That is what a coven is to me.
I love that.
And that is what we create. That's what I've been working on building and growing for the last 4 years now. And I'm super, super, super psyched about Aries season. Mm. So 4/17, April 17th is the new moon of Aries. Okay. When I look at the 17th, the next day, the 18th, Wednesday, is our very first meeting for the path working.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Wow.
So
that's not alignment.
It's always
I don't know
on
what
Wednesday
is.
evenings, or we'll potentially have multiple meetings on Wednesdays, whether morning works for you, afternoon, evening. But it's always going to be on Wednesdays, so you always know that it's going to be on a Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday's coming up. Time to do my witchy shit. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wizard Wednesday.
My time.
Witch Wednesday, right?
My time.
That's my time. And if you are like, I don't fucking know about this. I don't know if this is something. I don't know what a path working. I don't know what this is going to feel like. I don't want to say yes yet. We are, during the new moon of Aquarius, on February 18th, because the new moon of Aquarius is February 17th.
Okay.
So that Wednesday is the 18th, just like Aries. Mm-hmm. We are doing the 1 week witch.
So like a taster.
A teaser.
A little appetize me. I love the appetizers.
Yes.
They're the
Dip your
best.
toes, yo.
Yes.
So that's going to be coming up. Sign up for it. Okay. It's going to be kind of like I said, the teaser. What does a path working feel like? What does it feel like to commune with other aligned witches and wizards? And there is a questionnaire, and there is going to be intros. There is going to be kind of that moment, that interview process to make sure that A, you're ready to say yes to yourself and everyone else, and B, that you're aligned, and C, that you're ready to be accountable and play the game. Play the game of magic.
Ooh, I love that.
Play the game or stay the same.
I love it.
Boom, shaka-laka shaka Khan.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Bring it
so
on.
that to me is what a coven is. Thank you for sharing what you were taught a coven is, and also your input as to, I wasn't even in the right mood or the mindset, and I showed up anyway, and it was easy for me to plug in because the space was created for me to fall softly right into it.
And can I also say that the right people for a One Year Witch Coven in this coven that we're about to create, they're being called
1,000%
already. If you're hearing this and you feel like a little bit scared and a little bit excited,
if you have butterflies in your belly, follow them.
And if you feel a little bit scared and a little bit excited, that's it right there. That's your invitation. And I think that is the biggest indicator that you're being called to this. So just know that you, listener, if you're hearing this and you're feeling that, you feel triggered a little bit.
Ooh,
girl,
ooh.
It's time.
It's for you.
It's time.
It is time. It is time.
It is time.
Yes.
Simba.
Why
did we turn into James Earl Jones right now?
Because James Earl Jones has that voice.
It's a circle of life.
And on that tip, we are circling back to oneyearwitch.com is where you can find out all the information. The date of February 18th is going to be our trial. Dip my toes into 1 Year Witch. It's going to be the 1 week witch.
Okay.
And we start our 1 Year Witch Coven with the Aries new moon, the very first sign of the zodiac, the sign of initiation of I'm the fire starter. That type of a vibration. That's when we start. So February is going to be our intro.
Yep.
1 week. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. And then starting mid-April, during the new moon of Aries, is when we start the entirety. So you have some time to decide.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if this is piquing your interest or tickling your little tickling your fancy
knowledge bean,
you know how to reach out to me.
Yeah.
And if you don't, dear listener, brand new listener, magicismessy.com.
Yep. Comments, messages, all the things are welcome. Questions.
Yep. All the things are welcome. So if you're feeling it, if you're like, you know what, this might be for me, chickadee, ooh wee, reach out to me.
That's right.
Dig it.
I'm ready. Locked and loaded, man.
All right. I think that's all we have for What the Fuck is a Coven. Yep. We have done our hour. So thank you so much, sisters, misters, witches, wizards, for sticking with us. Thank you so much for being a part of the Magic is Messy collective. We are growing. The 1 Year Witch Coven is coming for ya. And let's seal our intention. Are you ready, Ace?
I'm ready.
Go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We are grateful for your time, your energy, your shares, your support. Thank you for being a part of this collective, and we will see you very, very soon for the next episode.
Love ya.
Mwah.